Welcome back to Rocky Mountain Rebel. I should probably introduce myself as this is my third video. So my name is Natalie and this is my Rebel 300. So the last video I put out was called Waitlet, and that was because I started the channel out with a Rebel 1100 and now I have a Rebel 300. So what happened, and do I still have the 1100? And we're going to talk about some of that today. So I originally, as you know, bought the 1100. That is kind of, at this point, my dream bike. As a new rider, that's kind of my dream bike. And the reason I went with an 1100 is because I didn't want to be spending a ton of money on a bunch of bikes. Like, I didn't want a beginner bike and then to have to upgrade in 6 months and then upgrade again in a couple years or whatever. And I might end up doing that anyway, but I didn't want to be the typical biker, right? And I just don't have that kind of money, and I didn't want to freak my husband out and start with, like, just start buying bikes at random. And so what I ended up doing was researching to try and find something that was a starter bike that I could grow into. I was looking for something that essentially would have training wheels on it that I could take off and, it would be my one and only bike, at least for a while. And so doing a lot of research online, which I've discovered is not maybe the best place to learn about everything, despite having learned a lot of stuff on YouTube. Anyway, so I started looking into the Rebel 1100. First of all, because I thought the Rebels were just a sexy bike. To me, I think it's a sexy looking bike. I know some people don't like them. Some people laugh about how little power they have, whatever. But and then I started, because last year, the Rebel 1100 came out last year, people were saying, hey, it's got these different modes on it. It's got your rain mode, it has your standard, and it has your like sport mode. And if you keep it in rain mode, it'd be great for beginners. And I went, so my little ears perked up. I went, well, that's perfect, because then I have a bigger bike I can start with, and I can then move into the other modes as I get more confident. And cool, so let's do that. So I didn't want to buy it brand new. I mean, I did, but I couldn't really afford that brand new. But again, I wasn't planning on buying 2 bikes. So I was like, well, if I'm just spending the money on one, no big deal. And anyway, so I was looking around. I went to a couple of dealerships, and I was also keeping an eye on Facebook Marketplace, and one popped up on Facebook Marketplace, and it had a nicer exhaust on it. It had just a lot of good stuff. It already had the passenger seat on it and the pegs and all that. And I went, oh, that's cool. So it's had some, upgrades, but at the same time, it only had, I think, 1,800 miles on it. It was less. I think it was listed at 16. And they wanted 8,500 for it, something like that. I'm like, yes, please. So contacted the guy and had a friend go with me, and we checked it out, and it looked really good. And so I went ahead and purchased the Rebel 1100, which I have named Doppler because I think Doppler effect is hilarious. And at some point, that bike is going to go with me on it, and I'm very excited. So Doppler. And put Doppler in the shed out back, and was very excited. You see the video, or I showed it to my husband for the first time. Very cool. So we have this friend, and he has ridden for over 50 years, or just at 50 years, and he's ridden everything. He's really into sport bikes. He's competed. He's very, very good. And he found out I was interested in motorcycles now, and he got very excited for me. And then when he found out that I'd purchased an 1100, he threw a fit, and probably rightfully so. It is a big bike. It's a big bike, and it's pretty powerful. The 2 times I've ridden it, it's a powerful bike, and it is very sensitive on the throttle. So, and being, a brand new rider, even in rain mode, it's not that easy to handle. And so what I ended up, well, he, like I said, he threw a fit that I'd purchased something so incredibly powerful. And he said, you know, you need to back it down to like a Honda Grom. So I got online and I started looking at the Groms. No offense to the Grom riders. It looks like a Cricket. And I didn't want to jump back that far. You know, in class, you're at least using a 250. And this thing, I was like, really? And they're just, I think they're ugly. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I looked at some of the others. He had some other recommendations, more of a sports bike, which are super cool looking. But for now, I want to learn the cruiser and maybe work on sport and some other stuff, you know, as I progress. But I didn't want to learn on one body type and then switch to another body type. And so I said, well, would you be okay, because he absolutely insisted I buy another bike. Would you be okay with me, say, downgrading to a Rebel 300? And then, and you know, so it's at least in the same family. It looks very similar. I'm not having to completely relearn a new style or a new brand. And he was okay with that. So I got back on Facebook and I found one, which you saw in the last video, listed for $4, and actually got it cheaper than that by quite a bit. So I was pretty excited that I got this baby. And this one also has like 1,800 miles on it. So, and it, you know, they both had their first 1,000-mile look at and all that good stuff. So they're both in really good shape. Same friend came with me as the first time and looked at this one and checked it out for me and did the test ride, because personally I'm not like roadworthy yet, so I'm just doodling around my neighborhood at this point. And so that's how I ended up with a 300 as well. And I need a name for this bike, so if you guys can help me come up with a name for her, I would appreciate it. Like I said, Doppler for the 1100. So future goals, this one I have ridden, I wouldn't say quite a bit, but a little bit more than the 1100 at this point. And it is way less touchy on the throttle, and it is, I think it is a better starter bike for me. I am going to be learning on this one. I'm keeping the 1100. It's still my like goal bike. And I'm hoping to graduate to it by this summer. I guess it's 2022 now. So by this summer, I hope to graduate to that bike. And in the meantime, just gonna doodle around on this one. So that's kind of my story, how despite not wanting 2 bikes, I ended up with 2 bikes. And so the one will stay in storage for a while, and I'll work on this one. And then when I'm comfortable and much more confident, then I will get the 1100 back out and work on that one. So, any questions for me? I'm so excited to have all of you joining my channel. It is really, really cool that there are so many of you all of a sudden. Like, I've got 50 subscribers already. Like, thank you so very much. That is so cool. Really excited to have you here. Please, please, please. I will respond to comments as long as they're respectful. So if you would leave comments, I'd love to know more about you guys and how long you've been riding and what your favorite bike is. And, just let's get to know each other. I'd love to build a little community on here. I think it'd be really fun. The one thing I have always really admired about the biker community is just how helpful and how much of like a brotherhood it really is, or sisterhood. And just how, growing up, it was, stay away from bikers because they're like the Hell's Angels and they're going to kill everybody and they're just the worst people in the world. And the older I've gotten, the more I've realized that, if anybody's going to pull over to help me along the side of the road, I kind of want it to be a biker because they're the good people in the world. So they're the cowboys, they're they're the Christians, they're the patriots, and I am part of that, and I love that community. So I'm looking forward to becoming part of the biker community. So like and subscribe, and there will be more fun videos coming up, but I wanted to kind of introduce myself and my little story here. And Well, talk to you guys soon. Oh, and a huge shout out and thank you to Life of Birch for commenting on my video. I completely geeked out. That was the coolest thing to actually see. I think I was sitting on my couch. I was like, honey, Life of Birch just commented like something, what? You know, and he's like, who? But yeah, watched a lot of his videos. I'd like to do kind of a female Fort9 channel, honestly. But I would also like to bring, like, I'm a Christian and I would like to bring that into my channel as well. So just ideas. Do you guys have any ideas for where I can kind of go with this channel? I know a lot of people tend to just kind of ride and talk about their life, and I mean there'll be some of that too, but I'd like to be more useful than that. I am a dental hygienist by trade. I'm also a voice actor, so I do all kinds of stuff. I love archery. I'm busy teaching my niece and nephew archery right now for their Christmas gift. And so what else can I tell you about me? I got a little dog I just adore, and yeah, family, country, you know, family, country, and God. Good stuff. Let me know more about you, and yeah, if you have any cool ideas for the channel, let me know below, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care.